Hello, I made a video on my main YouTube channel where I read out some old stories I wrote when I was 10 years old, can you believe? It's such a fun video and the stories are so absurd and unhinged, but I really enjoyed sharing them. However, there were a few stories that I did not include in the video. They just kind of felt like maybe they weren't as funny as the other ones, but I thought it might still be fun to share them anyway, so for all you side channel PJ the Kickers, I got a few little outtakes from that video to show you here today. I would say if you've not seen the main video, go watch that one first, and then you can always come back here and watch this. All right, please enjoy these 3 stories that I wrote when I was 10 years old. The Map to Trouble. It all started that cold, grim day where I found the old dusty book of horror. "Hey, Helen," I whispered. "What? I'm trying to read," Helen murmured out. "I found an old dusty book with a map." "A map?" Helen shouted, with the library lady shushing her. "Let's go see where it takes us," I said with my nose freezing outside. Huh? As we got home, we started in, well, a laundry chute. "You have got to be kidding me." "No way," I replied. So we slid down the metal cold chute. This is so odd because typically in the UK we don't have laundry chutes. That is a very American thing, and I was clearly very inspired by American TV. We landed in a pile of mud for some reason. "Where are we?" Helen said with fear. "Well, the map says, to go west," I said, but we didn't know that took us to Pirate Trove Cove, where there was old pirates with big beards, gold teeth, and birds on their shoulders. "Excuse me, but could we?" But before I could finish speaking, the pirates started to cry, so I said, "Why are you crying?" "We be having no treasure because when we crashed, our treasure be gone," the smelliest, revoltingest pirate said. So I reached in my pocket and gave them a few pounds, and they replied, "Ahar, ye matey, we be off to spend. And off they went. "Hey, why don't we go this way?" I said with excitement. But it took me and Helen to the jungle, so we took east, but that was like a desert of monkeys rampaging like a herd of cows. "Hey Helen, why don't we take north?" So like a fool, she listened to me, and you will never guess where we went. ... To the library. "Helen, maybe that map wasn't magic. Let's go," I sadly said with a sigh. "It's okay, let's go and get in an adventure at home." So I threw the map, but my old friend Johnny, that was 10 years old, found it, and he was so busy looking at it, he bumped into the wall and said, "This is a map of trouble." So he shredded the map, and he never saw it again. But there was more because that library was... Sorry, starting a sentence with but there was more is brilliant. But there was more because that library was called the Library of Maps. The next day in the newspaper, there was a big ad on buying secret maps. "Wait, secret maps?" I shouted. "Here we go again," Helen said with a sigh. "At least no one got hurt," Johnny said, and I, well, hit him on the head. Sorry, I'm trying my best to figure this out. Teacher's note. I enjoyed this, PJ. Target. Better planning for an interesting ending. Yeah, the ending perplexes me. I thought Johnny was my best friend, and now I'm beating him up? In the vault. I was in the smelly, damp vault exploring under the church flagstones. At that moment, click, click. Step by step, footsteps grew louder. I heard 3 evil voices. One was like a crow as he shrieked, "I feel ready to go for any good loot tonight." The second was like a bulldog as he moaned, "I wonder who the poor suckers we're gonna rob tonight will be." The third sounded like a lion roaring for meat when he said, "We'll stash the cargo and get out of here." I hid, not breathing at all. What, dead? As they came out and left, I really wanted to get out, not knowing one flagstone locks the door and floods the vault. And at that moment, yes, I stepped on it. The only light was coming through the keyhole. The wood worms had been to work, I could tell, as the coffins crumbled, leaving corpses floating around me. Oh my dear God. I had no choice but to dive to the bottom, touching every flagstone until it was empty. The corpses tried to attack me. Luckily, there was a nearby stone I threw, making the bones crunch and creak. I rushed as the smugglers came back. This time, I wasn't so lucky, as they spotted me. I ran and made a quick escape, just letting me fall lower. I don't know why, but the smugglers jumped after me. I fell in a pile of bones as they formed a giant skeleton. It clutched its finger into my neck, leaving me to do nothing. With my last few grains of energy, I ran. More trouble came as the smugglers droped down. They hit me to the ground with their fists of steel, hands of hope, claws of blood-thirsty, draining power. I laid there doing nothing but waiting if someone would come and help me, or let me lay there never to be found. ... Dark. Very dark. I think the darkest thing is that I'm imagining the protagonist as a child. All of my protagonists are children. Because when I was a kid, obviously all of these stories are hugely just self-insertion stories where it's like, yeah, the story's about me. They might have a different name, but I am the protagonist. So when I was writing these, I think I had myself in mind, which just makes this even darker. But the teacher liked it. She said some great phrases, PJ, as usual. The stones of Manchester Cathedral. When it happened, the scaffolding came loose. Me and Billy hung on to the top of the cathedral. As the selfish man that Billy was, he grabbed on the weather vane, leaving me hanging on. The crowd went all quiet. What's going on? I felt nervous as my heart pounded. Bang. Bang! My legs dangled down, and my arms started to go numb as ice. I slipped when I knew it was the end. I started to fall head first when my foot got caught on one of the bars that didn't fall, and jiffled my way up when I just slipped again, and the bar had fallen. When something I never expected happened. Billy caught me. "Hang on, Joe. Help is on the way," Billy said calmly. The helicopter carried us to the crowd. I want to just note here that I crossed out some words. Originally, this is what I was writing originally at the end here. The helicopter carried us to the chicken leg, or what the hell does that mean? Carried us to the chicken leg, or what? What does that mean? Anyway, I clearly second-guessed myself because I changed it to the helicopter carried us to the crowd, which makes a little bit more sense. And you want to know what the teacher said? The teacher's only note? Very dramatic, PJ. Very dramatic indeed. The missing money murder. Dr. Tot and Dr. Tat were at police headquarters when the message came. A robbery had struck. Dr. Tot and Dr. Tat had 2 deadly suspects. They zoomed to the bank as fast as a hare. 2 clues had been left by the awful suspects. One was a passport that said Mindy Quarter, age 31. The other was a security badge that said Chief Bob, age 40. I remember him from school, Dr. Tots remembered. They sprang into the car and raced down to Chief Bob's house as fast as frightening lightning. Frightening lightning? That is excellent. I love that. Dr. Tat thought that Chief Bob knew how to turn off the security cameras because Bob was a security guard. They knew what they were doing and fast. They were racing down the city until they reached their number 1 suspect. Crash! The door went down, and Dr. Tat searched the upstairs, and Dr. Tot searched downstairs. The 3 gathered into the living room. Dr. Tat asked some questions like, what was his motive for stealing the money? Chief Bob answered by saying, "I never did like you as a kid, but I didn't steal the money." Dr. Tot's next question was, how do you explain the security badge near the murdered person and the money stolen from the man? Again, Bob answered by saying, "I leave my badge at the bank every day, so the real criminal must have set me up. Anyway, I was at home all yesterday. I just finished reading The Hobbit." Okay, this is getting good now, Thank you, Dr. Tat replied, chomping away on a large sandwich. The dazzling duo were off again. Oh, so they just took Chief Bob's word, just at face value, great. They knew the criminal. They rushed to Mindy's house, but she wasn't there, so she left a note saying, "I'm off to America with the money. So see you later, suckers," from Mindy Quarter. Dr. Tat said, "Let's go to the airport, even though we won't make it in time." Before a holdup, Mindy got her luggage being checked over and over. One security guard said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but you don't have a passport." Dr. Tot now knew that Dr. Tat had found Mindy's passport. God, I have chosen the most annoying names possible for this story. "I don't belong in this giant line, so let me cut forward," Mindy demanded. That's me at the airport. "I don't belong in this giant line. I am a 5-star man, a golden god." That's not in the story, I'm just saying that. Sorry. "You belong in jail," said Dr. Tat. Oh, click! On went the handcuffs. Dr. Tot and Dr. Tat had used the money to help the murdered person, and they even got a reward. I don't think they're allowed to use that. That's like evidence. Okay, what's their reward? Dr. Tot got a shiny new badge, and Dr. Tat, he got a lifetime supply of cakes, donuts, and anything sweet he could stuff his face with. Yep. But Dr. Tot knew there were harder crimes to solve in the future. ... I end so many of my stories with ... Okay, so the teacher said, PJ, I really enjoyed reading this detective story. Love it.